Welcome back to the City Current Radio Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're honored to be with our next guest, our good friend, Robyn Tyler. She is the owner of Germantown Day Spa. And let's start out, Robyn, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Jeremy. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Well, in full disclosure, I know you and your team very well. It's where I get my hair done. We do massages there, my wife and I. So we're right around the corner. We see you often. Love everything you're doing with Germantown Day Spa. But let's start on your end with a little bit of context for you coming in and acquiring Germantown Day Spa. So talk about the story on your end of taking Germantown Day Spa over.
Certainly. It's one of my favorite stories. I have the pleasure of owning the Germantown Day Spa for almost 2.5 years now. It was 2 years in November, just celebrated my 2nd year anniversary. And the impetus of purchasing the day spa really isn't what most people immediately think. I usually get the questions of, oh, were you a hairstylist, or are you an esthetician, or have you been in the salon business? No. The answer to all of those is no. The next question I usually get is, have you always dreamed of being an entrepreneur? No. I didn't actually have the dream of being an entrepreneur. I did, however, always dream of bringing my dog to work every day. And I do get to do that. So that's a win. So my background actually, let me back up and say I am from Memphis. I went to Germantown High School. I went to the University of Memphis, and then later on had the opportunity to do some executive education at Vanderbilt. So I'm a Memphis and a Tennessee girl. And I came home basically 3 years ago after traveling and working in corporate America for 15, 17 years. And I had a wonderful career in human resources and organizational development at several large organizations. AutoZone, Office Depot, and L'Oreal were the 3 main ones. I loved my work, I loved my job, but there was something that just told me it was time for me to come home and do a little something different. After I had traveled, I lived in Europe, I lived in New York, I lived in Florida. So I came home and I took some time off and enjoyed driving carpool for the first time, in a long time, because I had been so busy. So I just wanted to do a couple of those things. And then it hit me after I had been back in Memphis for about, say 2 months or so. I thought, I don't want to travel anymore. I really want to invest in something local. Community at this stage of my life, I guess, became really important to me. So I started looking for something to purchase. And a mutual friend of mine, I actually contacted her just to ask about local real estate, because she too was a retail owner in the area. And she said, I know a business that you would be perfect for. So, and that's how it happened. Everybody said, well, did you have any experience in the spa? I'm like, no. Well, yes, I used to go to a lot of spas. I am a very, very avid consumer of spa services. So I thought, well, okay, in that respect, that is very fitting. And honestly, when I started thinking about it, a spa is really a service industry. My entire career has really been about people and experience and, communication and change management and all of those types of things. So I'm like, I know business, and I love making people feel better. So this is perfect. So I had the pleasure of acquiring the spa then, like I said, almost 2 years ago, or a little over 2 years ago.
Before we dive into all that the spa does, share a little bit of, for you coming in as a new owner, and to your point, you know enough, but it's not like you're stepping into an industry that like the back of your hand. And so what were some of the things that you thought going in that, okay, I want to learn immediately, or I want to try something new? In other words, kind of a fresh perspective. What was that like on your end? Because Germantown Day Spa has been around for a long time. And so stepping in, it's your chance to hit the refresh button and make it something special to you. But what was it like kind of first stepping in and realizing, okay, now it's mine, I can make these changes?
Sure. Well, the first word is humbling. If I could pick one word, humbling is a good one. And that's a very good point, because this was a very successful established business. Germantown Day Spa had been around for 17 years before I bought it, same location, same name, same owner, and a very tenured long-term staff, which is, in my research, very rare for this industry. So it's important to have that context. I'm glad you mentioned that, because coming in, you might say it was a well-oiled machine too. And there were a lot of things that I didn't want to change and that I wanted to definitely build off of the legacy and the great things that had already been done, and the brand awareness. So I put on, my business cap, and I also had some previous experience in mergers and acquisitions. So I got every one of my little, forms and everything out, and I did my SWOT analysis, and I did my competitive landscape analysis, so I did all of this stuff beforehand, getting ready to, what I felt like I know how to do this. I know how to acquire a business. But the experience of actually doing it and it being mine, as opposed to me being a support person, for a corporation and an acquisition, it was very humbling. And I think one of the most important things that I did do, thank goodness, was I came in with an attitude of, I don't know your business, you do. I know how to run a business, but I don't know your business. So I made a commitment to the staff that I would make no changes unless it was unethical or stupid. I would make no changes until I did everything at least 3 times. And because I wanted to learn, and I felt like, and then there were a lot of questions about, well, did you hire people? I didn't hire anybody to do anything for me. I felt like it was very important for me to do everything myself. Like I said, do it at least 3 times, and to be very, very close to the business, because my business was always people. I didn't want anybody, and I still don't want anybody between me and my staff, because my business depends on the service and the happiness and the quality of my staff, which to me is it's obviously my best and my most important asset.
Absolutely.
So I spent a lot of time trying to get to know them, giving them time to get to know me and to, hopefully trust me over time. And I just told them over and over again, the only plans that I have coming in are really refresh. Together, we will determine what is working fantastically that we won't touch. So a little bit of an honor the past, so, and I did, I sat down with each one of them and asked them the same questions, as a consultant would do, right? And to gather the information to see, what is it, what makes Germantown Day Spa, Germantown Day Spa? What makes this culture special, and I was really looking for that nucleus of who are we and how do I make sure that I don't squelch it, and that I actually do the opposite and harness what it is and allow it to even grow more. And then obviously determine what are the improvements that need to be made, and then what those things are over time. Some of those things were obvious, and they were just kind of undone maintenance and things that the previous owner admittedly said, look, I just haven't had the energy to do these things. Obviously I knew I was going to sell the business, so I didn't. I left that up to the new owner. So those were some pretty obvious things, and she and I agreed actually on a lot of them. So that was beneficial too. And I will also add, I hired her as a consultant to make sure that I didn't screw anything up really badly in the first year. So, and I mean, it was really more important for the first 3 months. I wanted for the staff and the clients to see that she was involved, and that she was happy that this was happening, and this was something, and I felt like it was important and honorable to her as well.
Yeah, that's actually, all of that is really smart advice too, to give others. Talk about Germantown Day Spa overall, because I mean, as I mentioned, it's haircuts, it's massages, you've got a medical side, you've got the nail tech. So describe Germantown Day Spa.
Okay, so we are one of the few full service day spas in the area. We try, our big thing is we want to be the best, and, we want people to have the best experience here. So our biggest competitive edge is you can get it all done here and you're going to love it. You're going to love the experience that you have here. So like you said, we have a hair salon, we have a nail salon, we have massage therapy, we have aesthetics, and we have medical aesthetics. And our newest department and largest growing department is medical, in terms of fillers and Botox and microneedling and IV therapy. And we also have permanent makeup too, as well, tattooing, basically.
Share on the medical side, as you mentioned, it's a hot and growing area. And so give us some of the most popular services, if you will.
Well, Botox is number one. Everybody from ages probably 22 and up are interested in getting some Botox, and I do understand why. So it's good for all ages too. And then the next to that will probably be filler, and that's typically for a little bit older clientele. Those of us that are just wanting to fill in where some of the things that gravity pulls and those types of things, but just overall, just skincare, awareness, and trying to defy age and feel good about yourself. But yeah, from a medical perspective, Botox definitely wins.
Share a little bit about the last 12 months in terms of the pandemic and operating through the pandemic. And, even to this point, we still want to celebrate special moments and look our best on the Zoom. And so haircuts, all of those things still matter, right? And so I think there's a piece of this where just being able to take care of yourself really still is important. But talk about what the pandemic has meant to you in Germantown Day Spa.
That was it's actually been scary, but also inspiring at the same time. The biggest thing that I was not prepared for was the amount of support from the community. I mean, I was touched. I was touched by how well our clients really cared about us, and just us as people. I mean, they would call us during, the time that we were unable to be open due to the shutdown, just to check and make sure that everybody's doing okay and that everybody was well. I'd say the same thing for the staff. I came up here every single day when we were closed, just to try to reach out to staff and to clients and do as much research as I possibly can, just to make sure I continue to have a connection. And the staff too was just like, Robyn, is there anything I can do? Can I come paint a wall? Can I help you do anything? I mean, they really just truly wanted to make sure that Germantown Day Spa succeeded, and that, they wanted to be a part of it. So it was very touching. Like I said, it was very scary too. I mean, I was only a year into owning this business. And, my 5-year plan did not include a global pandemic. And I started thinking about, I started trying to zoom out and think about this, what does this mean for my business? And I'm like, geez, my entire business model is touching people. So I started thinking, like, do I need to get really creative here, or what do I need to do? And I think the biggest, it is a balance. One of the things, fortunately for me, I had a background in change management and communications and those types of things. So for me, it was take a deep breath and, get back to the basics. You know what to do. Like, hey, maybe it wasn't a global pandemic, but you know what to do in times of uncertainty. You know what to do in times of, massive change and when life throws you curves. So just do those things, which is what brought me into the spa every single day. I mean, it's communicate early and often, and as much as you possibly can, even if you don't know the answers, still pick up the phone and call somebody, touch base, tell them what you do know, tell them what you think, when you think you might know something, those types of things. So I feel like that was a saving grace, just reverting back to the basics. There was some level of creativity. So I started trying to predict and do predictive analysis. I ran all my little spreadsheets to try to figure out, okay, well, what if this lasts for 3 months? What if this lasts for 6 months? And then just kind of trying to dig in and try to figure out what can we do? Like, what can we do to get creative? We put little packs together for retail. We were trying to teach people how to do some facials at home. We were a little bit tied behind our backs because there's some things you just can't do. You know, we're not allowed to let people color their hair. You know, we use our professional products, for example, at home. We're not allowed to do that. So there were some things that we couldn't do. We ended up bringing on a couple of new lines and new products in the process. Just say, okay, maybe we need to expand our retail presence. You know, we did the same thing that, you know, a lot of the other people in the area did. We would drop stuff off at people's homes. That was one of the things that the staff offered to do. They're like, look, I can drive stuff around to people's houses and drop it off on their doorstep. You know, I can do that. And then you mentioned one of the things. Then there was a little bit about just, I call it a little bit of luck. Maybe it's really being clever and thinking about, okay, self-care is really important no matter what. So I'm like, okay, let's double click on that. You know, let's double down and try to figure out what that really means. Well, Zoom calls ended up being one of the things that helped us quite a bit, because now all of a sudden people are watching themselves talk and looking at themselves all day long. So we optimized on that in our medical business and Botox. And they're like, oh my gosh, when I smile, you know, I do all these things. And so we optimized on it and said, okay, great. You know, we made sure we had the products before before anybody else. But when we predicted to be open, we made sure that we, you know, found a way to have the supplies that we needed so that we could absolutely be open the day that we were, you know, allowed to be open. And we stayed on social media and tried to stay connected to people. So those were a couple of our saving graces, and we laugh about them now. We're like, well, it worked. And yeah, like I said, just caring about one another and staying connected with one another was absolutely the most important thing. And I'm happy to say that I was home during this process, because it really meant a lot to me to be in the Memphis community during this time.
Talk about gift certificates, and especially things like for Valentine's Day, special, you know, birthdays and anniversaries and the holidays, perfect gift opportunities. But talk about the different ways that we can help Germantown Day Spa and use you. Wonderful.
So word of mouth and sharing your experience with friends and colleagues is number one. I always tell my staff, they hear me say this all the time. The hardest part is getting people in the door. Once we get you in our house, that's when we can wow you. So we concentrate on making sure that everyone has a fabulous experience, but getting people here, you know, that's the trick, right? So we love word of mouth. We love it when people share their experiences, you know, after they leave the spa, and they either post it on social media or call a friend or put it in a group text, or, you know, whatever their preferred method is, just to share it, you know, in the moment, like, oh my gosh, I feel great. That was a wonderful experience. Best massage I ever had, you know, etc. Gift certificates are much appreciated. I love every time I have a smiling client come in and they've got a gift certificate in their hand and they're like, I've got money to spend in here and I'm going to have a great day. I have found too, gift certificates have always been a big part of our business. I think this year, this Christmas, in particular, it meant more to people too, because it was more of a, I need this. Like, I really need some time, you know, I need to take care of myself. And had a lot of husbands coming in and saying, Mama needs some time, you know, away from the kids, you know, the homeschooling and those types of things. Even the kids are stressed. We've had an influx of, I'd say, teenagers who are interested in getting massages and facials and those types of things that we didn't have as much before. So I think they too are realizing the benefits of self-care and just, you know, what stress is doing to everyone, you know, plus the mask. Mask is not great for acne for these poor kids too. So gift cards are an amazing gift always. And I've found, especially now, it's becoming a little bit more of a meaningful one. Where used to, it was like, you know, I don't really, sometimes gift cards represent, I didn't know what to get you, so I got you this. Now it's I want you to take care of yourself. I want you to go do something for yourself. And that's been great. This, as part of coming out of this as well, is having one of those items that we always had and has always been a great part of our business really become more meaningful and more popular too. So we got Valentine's Day coming up, so we have a couple specials for that, and that gift cards are fabulous gifts for Valentine's Day, as well as just we've had more people calling in, making appointments for mom or dad, or just saying, hey, I just want to surprise them. I'm going to make their appointment. I'm going to pay for their services. I'll get them there. You take care of everything else. Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then following Valentine's Day, we've got spring, and everybody will want to spiff themselves up and get ready for spring. And then our beloved Mother's Day and Father's Day.
So carry that forward and talk about your website. How do we call and make appointments? Where do we go?
Okay. Yeah, you can make an appointment by calling at 901-737-2840. You can also request an appointment on our website, which is germantowndayspa.com, and which there's a place for you to send an email directly to us, and we can interact with you via email if that's your preferred method. You can also buy a gift card online if you prefer that way, or you can call the spa, or you can come in. We are located in Germantown, 9030 Poplar Pike, right at the intersection of Forest Hill Irene and Poplar Pike.
Well, Robyn, love you and your team and all you do. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it, Jeremy. It's great to see you.